almost there. There it is. Can you see me? Now you can't. Can you see me? Now you can't. Yep, that's what we're doing today. We're going to play with the mound, but I've already been messing with this mound. Anyways, hi guys, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Today is Sunday. So Sunday, where I make a disaster. Hopefully, you might want to make a disaster too.
Somebody said something exploded.
Yeah, it exploded. Yep. Strings exploded in my room and I'm working on something, but I thought it would be funny for you guys to see this giant mound of moundiness. Because I've been working. So I'll just tell you before I say hi and everything. A couple days ago, I had a dream. I had a dream that I made a quilt in my dream, and it happens often. This time, I really remembered very vividly my dream. So I came straight in here that morning. I had my insure and my banana in the kitchen, and I came straight in here and I told Scott I'm going to start making something because I envisioned this and in my dream, and I need to make it. I envisioned this, and I have no measurements. He said I should have started making a video for it, but unfortunately, I don't know the math to this because it's strings, and I have no clue how to even start by telling you guys how to do this. This is me making stuff up as I go to become what is the dream, which is embedded in my brain now, this quilt idea. So today, I don't have really any numbers for you or math. I could tell you a few things that I've done, but I'm getting pretty far on it already, and you'll be able to see the finished thing. So if you decide in the future that you want to make something like this, you'll have this video as a reference, but not with true measurements because I'm using strings to do this. So
once you know all the measurements and everything and figure it out, you can do it in a whole nother video.
Yeah, once I know the measurements,
figuring it out.
Yeah, then I can give a better video, but right now, because I'm just doing it with strings, I can try to change things up in the future to make a video that's not strings if you don't have strings, to use like fat quarters or something. But right now, my dream was strings because I had an overflowing string bin. Anyways, Scotty, let's see who's out here. Oh yeah, I even dropped my box of strings onto the floor and it just like exploded everywhere. And I picked it up and threw it on the table. That's why it's like this. All right, we have so many people here. Judy, Dawn, Brenda, Robin, Juno, Irish Sail Lady, Terry, another Terry spelled a different way, Maureen, Polly, Kathy, the Siberian Wind, Leontine, Eva, Grace, Teresa, Andrea, Zella, Joanne, Debbie, Judy, Night Owl, Shelly, Joanne, Glenda, Jim is here, Linda, Carolyn, Paula, Betty, and so many more. Thank you guys all for hanging out with me on a Sunday. I know it's football season, so there's football stuff on too on probably channels. No, I have them right here. So also I got in the mail some postcards. I'm just going to bring them up close because I'm going to adjust the camera in 2 seconds. My first postcard is a quilted postcard, and it is from my friend Becca. She says, congratulations on reaching, I shouldn't show her address, huh? Congratulations on reaching 50,000 subs. Your hard work is paying off. I am so proud of you, from Becca. So she sent me this lovely quilted play button, and it's going to go over there because, you know, you don't really get anything from YouTube until you get to 100,000 subscribers. So this will be my plaque until then. And then I also got this lovely postcard right here. It is from, says, Tiffany and Scott, enjoy this card and have a happy new year. And this is from Teresa, and it is Acadia National Park, which I have no idea where that is at because there's writing and stamping over the words. So I honestly can't tell you, but if you guys know, you know. So that's what I got in the mail. So my lovely play button will go somewhere where it can be seen. For now, I'll just sit right there. So I'm gonna.
Thumper hiding under the huge pile.
Yeah, if Thumper was under that pile, he would jump up and scream. So here is generally what I am doing. Here's the star that's in the center. That is my center. Okay, and then you can't see because my chair is in the way, but there's another thing. So I'm doing stars all the way around. And then if you can see at the top right here, I cut out some muslin and wrote on it because I'm trying to figure out how to get a circle in all of this section with the strings and the white fabric. So I'm not quite sure how to do this one yet because I don't have a printer to make my own thing, to have a paper template to, like paper piece it or something. I do have wax paper or freezer paper or whatever you want to call it, which might help with it, but 90% of everything, to create these blocks and get them exactly the same size, because of course with strings, nothing is the same size. I'm going to tell you, I made myself a muslin template because I don't have paper this big. I do have paper, but it would be weird to try to get it this big. So I actually just cut it out of muslin and starched it really good so it's like paper. And then I wrote on it with the sizes I needed for this area right here, this area right here. But the problem is I want to piece those areas as well with more strings. That's where everything is lost. So I'm making two kinds of blocks. One block is the start. It starts with a 2.5-inch diamond. So I cut 3 strips off of a white bolt of fabric, 3 2.5-inch strips, and then subcut it into, what's 24 plus 8? 32 2.5-inch diamonds. And then that was my start. For these ones, 8 of them were like this. And then the other 24 of them are like this with the diamond that's going to land mostly center. But if it's not center, it's going to make like this kind of like weird look all the way around. So it will be somewhere around that section, and then it'll just build all the way around the outside. And yes, it's going to be a king size quilt. When do I not make a king size quilt? I don't have a king size bed, but that's all I ever make is like queen and king size quilts. So I'm in this stage right now of my other 23 of these, and all I'm doing is building around it like a log cabin. So I started with one, and then I did the next, and then the next, and next, and next, and next, and next, and so you know which side is the next when you have a parallelogram right here. That's considered a parallelogram when it's exactly even like that. When you have an open parallelogram with a seam at the side right here. So I know that this is my next side so that I don't lose it. I am doing this all standing. So I'm sewing standing and everything because I'm literally back and forth, back and forth. These have to be cut to size before you sew them on. It makes it so much easier. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, we can bring the camera in kind of close. Let's see. Scott's made a point that you're not going to really see what I'm doing. So how about we just go like this and you just won't see my face. You'll see me sewing my piece on and cutting my piece instead. Because, anyway, so the pile should not be too much in the way. I'm going to take my piece of fabric, and I'm trying not to run the same piece over and over again. So when I do pull from this pile and I'm done with it, I put it in this pile, unless it's just a small piece this size, then I have a special box for all of that right here next to me. What you do is just stick your next piece on here like this, and I can see already that this one is crooked. So I start by lining from the square in the center, and I find a number on the ruler that's close, and I line that center up with that. And then you can see that side was shorter and this side was longer. So then I trim that excess off, lay my piece down, put this piece on top of it.
I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Like this.
Well, show them what it says. So they can
It
see
says, I sew so I don't choke people. Save a life. Send fabric. And then I trim off to the exact size, like this, and then pull it to the top. Don't trim it on the, you could trim it on the top if you want, but you need it from the bottom. It's better if you trim it from the bottom because you'll get a better measurement. And then with like any diamond, you leave a little tip out on both sides, like this, a little 1/4 inch tip, and you bring it over to the machine and sew it. So again, I'll be standing, oops, I'll be standing 90% of this. And I really undid the thread this time. I've been chain piecing the whole lot of them. So when I do one, I pull the other one and put it on the machine and so on and so forth. Until all of them are done, then I send them over to Scott and he presses them all for me.
Yep.
And then while he's pressing, I pull from the pile he's already pressed and start doing that next stage. So that's how this has been going. The diamond in the center is a 2.5 inch diamond. Again, I cut 3 2.5 inch strips to have 3 2.5 inch diamonds. And something is sluggishly sewing on this machine. Don't know. Anyway, then I grab the next one. I make sure that it's nice and straight along with the line of the diamond. So that one's kind of funky. And if I have to cut some off, I cut some off, but I'm trying to keep it centered with the diamond itself. And then I just find a piece of fabric, any old piece of fabric, like this. And I'm trying to save the bigger ones for the outer pieces because they have to be trimmed. So I have strings that are like this. This is like 3 inches right here. But I'm trying to save these bigger pieces for my last round because they'll get trimmed down and go, back into my strings pile. So then I just lay it on here. This is over and over and over again. All day I've been doing this, and yesterday and the day before. Well, today I've been doing it mostly all day. Yesterday I just did a little bit, but the day before I did a lot. I got that whole center of the star done the day before. And then I just sew it. Do not cut when you sew strings like this and you're doing this kind of style. Do not cut these right sides together like this. You don't do that. That's not how this works. You have to do it with the opposite side up. The wrong side or the right side up. I'm just lining it up, trimming it straight. Trying to keep this as square as possible, All right, let's grab another fabric. It doesn't matter which fabric. It doesn't matter the size. I'm just lining it up just like this. And since I'm a scrap saver of all scraps, I'm actually saving these cutoffs right here to make something from those as well. I have a mini quilt planned for all those little pieces. Oh yeah, so I have my longer pieces like this that are shaped like this with the cutoffs, and then I have all sorts of triangles, little triangles. And if it's smaller, then it won't make an inch square, then I won't save it, but that's what I'm saving, all my little triangles and stuff. But this one's too small. I won't save that one. That one's too tiny. The bigger they are, the better, because I'm going to make, like I said, a tiny quilt after this. I'm like all over the place, I probably won't get to the tiny quilt for a while, but I at least saved my pieces for it.
You know what the diamond block size is?
The diamond is a 10.5 inch diamond. The actual diamond itself is 10.5 inches. See how this got wonky? I don't know how well you can see right here, but I have this lined up right here on my center diamond. You can see that this tip is like way out and this one's flat. That's why I've been trimming them. No, it's fine. This one is like almost done. So if I think it's like almost done, I'll bring my template over here and I'll lay this on here and I'll go, how much space do I have? A really big space right here. And I have a medium space right here. So I could put that piece there and then finish this one with either 2 strips or 1. So I could take 1 strip, Nope, they would need to be bigger. So it would be 2 strips on this side. And 1 strip will finish this side. So how about some Darth Vader heads? Sure, why not?
Oh, I like Darth Vader heads.
There's Mickey Mouse in here. There's little cows in here. There's all sorts of...
Spider-Man.
Yep, there's all sorts of... There's Spider-Man.
I've been ironing.
I have some Batman fabric in here too. There's, yeah, right here, Batman, because I just saw it earlier. There's all sorts of fabrics in here because it's my strings, and so many quilts have been made with these strings, and I keep filling more and more, more strings into this bin. No. The white diamonds, I don't care if they land center because it's okay if they, you know, are in a different position each time, but they're mostly going to be center. That part I didn't really think about. That's why I said if I can find a way to turn this into a pattern, like say using fat quarters or something, then I will definitely show you guys how to make this using fat quarters and do a tutorial for it. Straighten that. Let's add. Ooh, let's add these guys right here. How adorable. And I always line it up at the end because the less waste, the better. So I line it up right at the end. That way I can have more strip towards something else. You know, you never know. So the longer strip like this could have started a block for a different project. So I definitely am a no waste type of person. That's why I make lots of scrap quilts. And then I just move on to the next over and over. They're all at different stages. Well, they're all at the same stage, but different size pieces, which makes it fun because they all have more round. One has more rounds than another, you know. Let's put some flames on this one because why not? I'm literally having fun with it. And if it's a directional fabric, then it doesn't really matter the direction because some of these are going to be upside down, some are going to be right side up. It's going to be a king size quilt, so there is real no direction on a king size quilt, honestly. You know. All right, bring it to the top, line it up, and sew it. And this is what I've been up to. I'm really just trying to create what I saw in my dream. Huh? Oh, yes. So I'm probably going to name this Dream Come True because, yes, it was just all a dream. Yeah. Yep. Should be Dream Come True, Scotty said. And that's probably what I'm going to name this quilt. All right. Let's see. Let's do this one because now there's an opposite different color. There's always a different color of the same fabric, you know. That one in that pile, this one in that pile. Literally have like so many piles. This desk is exploding right now. Literally. Oh, it's funny. Next. And again, I just line it up right here. You can see it's kind of a little wonky. So I straighten it out. And that happens when you're using strings. See, these big, huge ones, these are going to be my final rounds. There's lots of these big ones. Oop, there's a small one in there. I don't know if I want a green next to a green, though. How about we put some, whatever this is, next to it? Sure, why not? Just having fun with it, making it my own.
What's the biggest quilt you quilted on your Juki? The
biggest quilt I quilted on the Juki when I first got it, and I was free motion quilting on a frame. I've done queen size because I had a queen size frame last time. Actually, no, I did a king size on that frame too, actually, when it was on a frame. But sit down free motion, queen size is the biggest I've done. And I use that quilt every summer. Goes on my bed. Like, look at this one. This one has witches' hats. And they're so, like, right there, you know, you could see them perfectly. I lined it up just right. Some of these I'm being really particular about, I guess is the word for it. Like, trying to make sure that they land in a certain spot in a certain way. Oops. All right, let's find another piece. This one's...
Could you slow down a little to explain the cutting of the strip and then lining it up?
Yeah, give me...
way to sew it on the diamond.
Give me a second. The correct way... Let me see how big this is.
With the 60-degree diamond?
Did I start with... No, I started with 45 degrees. 45-degree diamonds is what I'm making. So this is... I'm going to be able to go around this 1, 2, 3, 4 more times. So I'm going to just use a smaller piece there. Let's see what we got. So it started with a 2.5-inch 45-degree diamond. Okay. Then I'm taking my strings and making sure they're long. I started with one side, then I did another, just like a log cabin, but on a diamond. And then every time I line them up, I actually take my piece and put it on top. Because if you put it right sides together and cut it this way, like this, then you're actually the wrong direction. You're cutting it to the size, not the right size. Because when you go to sew it, when you open it, you're going to be missing 2 corners. And it's going to be shoddy. So you want to make sure that it is flat and then place your piece on there. That way you get the right size. I don't like to cut from the top when it's like this. So it's right side up, as you can see. I don't like to cut from the top because I don't want to cut my previous fabric accidentally. I'd rather line my ruler up with the fabric on the outer side. Then once you flip it over, like this, right sides together, you're going to have a little 1/4-inch tip right here on this side and a 1/4-inch tip on this side, on these 2 sides. And that is where you're going to line up your needle, is in that V right there, and it should come out the V on this side. So that's how that works. So let me pop this off here so that you can see. Let's grab the previous one because it's right here. When I go to flip this, see how it's sticking out a 1/4-inch on each side like that? When it's flipped out and pressed, it's the same direction right here where it's supposed to be. And you'll have a little tip that sticks out on one side. Those are getting cut off when I trim them to size. So that way, when you do your next round, which is this direction now, this whole side.
What's the largest quilt you quilted on your Juki? I already had this.
The largest quilt I quilted on my Juki was a queen size. I quilted a king, but when it was on a frame. A queen when it wasn't on the frame. I did that on a live stream.
Oh, okay.
Well, several live streams because it took me a while to quilt it. But anyway, that's how this works. And if, like I said, if you put it right sides together, you're going to have the wrong shape cut. And I don't want to purposely wrong shape a cut, but we'll just use a previous piece just so that you can see. If it was this direction and I cut it exactly this size right here, see? And so that I cut this end off. When you sew it and you go to fold it back like this, you will have a V on one end and a V on the other end because it'll be facing this direction. So that you can't do it that way. You have to have it facing right side up. So that one's just ready to be ironed at the moment. Anyway, so I'm going to move on. Again, this is the side. It has no seams coming out of it, so I know that's my previous side, the last one that I did. 10.5-inch template, and I made it from muslin. You could make it from paper if you want, but I just made mine from muslin. All right, let's grab this one. Yep. Oops. I just try to make sure that it's nice and straight under there. I use the small ruler for the regular cuts and the big one because the pieces are getting too big now to do the straightening it up cut. This is fossil fern, by the way, if you guys were curious about this fabric. I had a lot of it But it all ended up being scraps and strings. And I've used it in a lot of quilts. There's only a couple lines and background fabrics that I know what they are because I've used them so many times. So I straighten it up by lining it up like this with the white in the center. Usually I'm not trimming off much. And it doesn't matter the size piece you put in it. So I'm going to put this little skinny guy on here. Just like this. Use my little ruler. Cut it. Toss that into the used pile. Like I said, there'll be a couple repeats because I'm not really paying attention to what was used, but I am throwing them in the used pile, and there's a lot of repeats in my strings. They're all different sizes, but I'm trying not to have too much of the same fabric. This one looks pretty straight. Nope, it's not. See? Big tip out here on this side. That's why I'm lining them up and cutting them, because we want to try to keep them at that 45-degree angle the whole entire time. And they do get off. It's not my fault. It's just how this works. Let's use that. Some grungy fabric. Oh, come on. I got so many nicks in my cutting mat that's missing pieces. Back and forth, back and forth. That's all I'm doing. I've been through like 6 bobbins already. I used up some of the ones that I had of different colors too. Since this is a scrappy quilt, it didn't really matter what bobbin color I used. Or if it was even straight. Ooh, this one's like perfect. I just need to get rid of that little dog ear. Perfect. Why are these in here? I keep finding these small little pieces in here. I don't know why they're in my strings. So weird.
Accident?
Yeah, accidents. Here's a green grunge. Well, they were probably in the bottom of the bin. And when it dropped on the floor, see? All these little pieces. I don't know why they're in there. Anything that's 5 inches or less, I stick in a different bin. Yeah. Once you get the hang of it and the chain piecing and the chain ironing, instead of making just one block at a time, it actually goes faster. And staying standing also helps. Because you still have to stand up and do everything unless you have, the ability to trim and cut from a sitting position really good, which I have not found to work at all yet so far in this whole project. I cannot do it from the sitting position. Lining it up, lining it up.
And ruler for the arc pieces you're wanting to make.
A plate and a ruler? Probably could. I tried drawing it with a ruler, and I have one curved ruler, and I tried making it with that. I'll show you guys in a second what my plan was. My template for the bigger outer pieces. And to think I have to clean all this up too. When I finally finish, I gotta I like my strings to be flat in the box. I definitely don't like them in a bunched up pile like this because they get wrinkled, and I definitely don't like working with wrinkled pieces. Anyways, here's my template out of muslin that I made. So when it's together, I don't know if you guys can even see the lines. Let me hook it to myself. How about that? Can you see? So I started with a center circle right here at this bottom, and then I made a 5-inch marking away from that in the same curve, and then I was going to do white pokies, like whatever, but now I'm thinking I just want to do strings in the curve, because I thought about just having them be little suns, but I don't have any paper to paper piece, and I don't want to back it on muslin you know, you can use muslin as your piecing template. Bless me. Sorry. I didn't. I didn't want to use muslin underneath it because I don't want that many layers. I don't like quilting through double layers, especially with quilts that are made with muslin as the backing, or sheets or anything like that. Not that to say that I won't, but I don't like to. So, because it's a lot of layers, especially when you want batting and all that kind of stuff on the long arm. But I'll do it. I just don't like to because it's a lot. But that was my goal, is to have like suns coming out. But I don't know how I'm going to get this corner yet, or this section yet, or, I know how the four corners will be. But this section, if I make a curve right here, in this part where it's going to come together as a giant square, if I make the curve here, it might look weird with the row going around it. So I'm not sure how I want to do that yet. Because in my dream, it curves around. But I can't do a giant curve because I'm using strings and I don't have paper piecing. So, yeah. This is just make it up as I go from a dream.
Making strip sets and then cut the arc from that.
I could make strip sets and cut the arc from that, yes. That's what I was thinking of doing. Making pieces and hooking them together. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes when I get to that step. Right now, it's just all this. The piecing of the diamonds. Once I get all this done, then I can get the rest of the measurements. Right now I have an overshoot of numbers that are bigger than it needs to be. Like this right here is like a 16.5-inch block. This right here. Oh, well, yeah. So like the corners that come off of it were 16.5 inches. And then the set ends on the V parts was a 22-inch block cut on the diagonal twice. But unfortunately, I don't know how that's going to work if I'm going to be piecing in between those. Okay, I'm going to snip some of this apart because it's getting quite full right here in my section. Yeah, we're getting close, yeah. Come on. You don't need it now because you're getting too big. You can't do it all in one pass. I'm undoing my chain piecing and passing these over to Scott. All right, let's keep going. So I have quite a few more to go, like 5 or 6 more to go on this round.
Why can't I do that one pass?
Oh, because once you iron this, you're going to wrinkle the rest of the block.
I've been doing this all day.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about?
All right, let's see. What do I got going on here? Some little tiny flowers.
Look, is it wrinkled?
Okay. Don't put it there, please. That's not the next round.
Well, that's where I've been putting it all day. When I'm done, I put it right
Yeah,
on
but
top
this
of
is the pile for this only so far, this round.
Well, then, yeah. Well, I've been putting them.
All right.
We've been in here all day today. I love that Darth Vader.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's like half of him looking out.
Just the design, it's like Sugar Skull Darth Vader.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
What?
So you emptied your trash bin.
Yes, Scott took it out for me and put a fresh bag in, and it's almost halfway full. I fill that thing up like twice, 3 times a month, maybe. Probably mostly twice a month, but you know, who's counting? Okay. Like I said, I'm just adding whatever piece. I'm not really caring about what colors go next. Oh, and I'm not putting any white next to the white, but the white can be in the next few rounds, and I don't want any white fabrics on the edge because I'm putting this next to white fabric. That's my background fabric. Usually I don't use white background on big quilts like this. I usually find something funky, but I didn't do that this time because I really wanted to get this out of my head. So I was like, I got a whole bolt of white. I'll just use that. Oh, I already used that one.
Scott made a quote here.
Has Scott made a quilt? No, he has not. He has fixed a t-shirt though. Turned it into a tank top. And he's also used the long arm and the embroidery machine. He's used the embroidery machine several times. But he has not made a quilt. Maybe in like the next 10, 15 years I can convince him to, because he'll be so bored. He'll be like, okay, fine, you convinced me, you know? Like, but right now he's never going to do that, ever. Yeah, maybe when he's like 80 years old, he'll be like, okay, woman, teach me now.
Take it over, then it'll be Scott's quilting.
Yeah, he'll take it over, he said, and it'll be Scott's quilting life. That's what he said. Only because I'll be so invalid, I won't be able to do it. It's a cold day in hell before I quit quilting, because yeah, this is my thing. This is my passion.
Does it make your back hurt to stand and bend over?
It makes my neck hurt, honestly. Not really my back much, just my neck. Yeah, it's kind of driving me nuts, but hey, you know, what could I do? This is a Moda fabric right here. I did a hunter's star in this, with this as the border. Well, one of these as the border. Because I did a few layers of that, actually. See, I have so many memories with all this fabric. It's not just fabric that people send me. It's the things I made with the fabrics that people send me, and or that I gathered when I first started quilting. Because these strings go back years. And I keep filling the top and only using the top of the pile when I should be digging into the bottom, because those are like years and years. Right there. So it's just that end right there.
Person said you could be the Iron Woman.
Yeah, I'm the Iron Woman when Iron Man isn't available. I don't want to put that one there. Come on. There's got to be more. Ooh, a purple one. Let's put a purple one there.
When did you make all this?
When did I make all this?
Yeah, today.
Yesterday, the day before, and today. Yeah, I started working on it the day before yesterday. So it's been 3 days of coming in here off and on and working on these. The first day I did the center star. The second day I started on these. And today I've been working on these the rest of the day. Huh? The night, let's see, what was yesterday? Saturday. The day before was Friday. So Thursday night I had the dream. And Friday I came in here and started.
You plan to applique the center?
No, the center is already there. That white is actual white fabric that you see. Ooh, I want some tennis shoes, but he's so big. What if I just like trim him?
Do you want me to just leave these over here? Or do you want me to set them where I was setting them all day?
Put them down now.
There we go, mound trash. Trashy mound.
Stop on that one. Oh, not yet though, because I want some tennis shoes, and I don't want him that big.
You could try a string challenge. Use up all your string.
This is my string challenge. And then I did those two, it's the, oh my goodness, Strings of Illusion. I did 2 Strings of Illusion. I did the Ultimate Strings quilt. I have done so many strings quilt, and I keep having more and more and more. So there's no challenge to this. It's just going to keep filling up. There's more than enough for multiple, because so far those 2 Strings of Illusions were queen size, and this is going to be king size, and the Ultimate Scraps quilt was queen size. Like, and I'm still going. I still have yet to use all these scraps up. I'm going to give you the last of these other blocks in a minute, Scott.
You want me to zoom in on the next piece before you measure? See
Oh.
how you, to see how you measure.
I'm going to cut this one into 1/2 inch. I really have so much funkiness. So I lay it down on here, just like this. I put my piece on it. I usually try to put it at the corner right here, and then wherever it lands on that part. That way I'm not wasting too much fabric. Like I've said to you guys several times, and most of you know, I do not waste fabric. If it's wasted, it's usually little tiny itty bitty pieces like that. Everything else I save. So once it's cut, it's faced up when I cut, so it looks even this direction. But if you had have done it this direction upside down, it would be the same thing, like I said a minute ago. So then you put it like this, and you have a 1/4 inch there and a 1/4 inch there, and you sew it on. We're going to do another round. So this concluded, that piece concluded this round. So now I get to go around all of them again until they get bigger and bigger and almost the size. Like this one's getting really big, so it, you know, might only need one more piece to it. Some of them are really big already. All right, so I'm find the one that I just did, and now I'm doing a different direction. As you can see, it's facing this way now. So now I'm just gonna make sure that everything is lining up. I go to the next number until I have a straight number right here. It doesn't matter if it's on an 1/8 or a 1/4 or whatever, as long as it lands straight. And we're gonna put some birdie fabric there because this one needs some color. And now we're doing that same exact thing. I'm putting the piece on top of it, but this time my point's on the opposite end. So I just stick the ruler on the outer side and like this. So I'm just cutting the opposite direction. That's all. Same thing though, the piece was still face up underneath. That way I don't accidentally cut the piece wrong on the wrong side. I definitely have quite the disaster going on here. Yeah, that's this round.
Oh, okay.
That's the last of this round. Yeah. I'm just.
Oh, look, there's Cleopatra in here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. There's Cleopatra. There's, like I said, there's all sorts of randomness in all these fabrics.
Are the seams ironed on the back?
I'm pressing the seams all out, away from the center. So every time one gets added, it just gets pressed away like that, away from the center. Less bulk that way. Okay. Let's put some fabric that says Bloom and whatever else this says on it. Bloom Big, that's what it says. I'm going to straighten that end out because I'm saving all the triangles that I cut off. which I've already said. Line it up and sew it. Do you still see the sewing machine? Oh. Grab another one. Lay it to where that last piece was on my left side. That way I know which way I'm going when I go around this.
Is the white triangle going to be centered within the triangle?
You mean the white diamond?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The white diamond should be centered, but it's not really. It's going to kind of alternate position a little bit. Oh, that one's already on there. Why didn't that go in the other pile? I don't know. How about an orange? Just a little. Yeah. Yeah.
How many diamonds do you have?
24 that are this way and 8 of them that are a different way. 8 of them have the diamond at the end, at the start, the point, and then those are the ones that are on the wall. And the other 24 have the diamond landing somewhere near the middle.
Are they all 2.5-inch strips?
Yeah, they are all, no, the strips that I'm adding, no, these are all random lengths. The center is all 2.5. Yeah, the center started at 2.5. It's how you keep things managed when you're building stuff like this, especially if you want it all to land a certain distance or sides or whatever. Got to have some kind of similar thing within all the blocks.
Is the width of each strip 2.5?
The width of each of these? No, these are all random widths. 1 1/8, 2 3/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4. Some of them are like this, which aren't even an inch. They're probably 7/8. Yep, 7/8 of an inch. So, I mean, yeah, I've done a couple that were 3/4 of an inch as well, because I put all those sizes in my strings. I'm not picky at all. Not picky. Right there. I don't want to lose Cleopatra. I'm going to lose Cleopatra's arm.
I just found her. She's awesome. Don't be cutting her up.
Oh, yeah, there's Paw Patrol in this quilt, too. I don't need more of that, though, because I have quite a few pieces that are Paw Patrol. There's a couple batiks in here, because, unfortunately, that sometimes they end up in my strings pile, so I just leave them. But I'm inserting them in here anyway. 10.5 is measured by its width. So I cut a 10.5-inch strip and subcut it into 10.5-inch diamonds. The whole diamond? Yeah, they're 10.5 inches, yes. Width, not length from tip to tip, point to point is not. Here, let me bring down. Yeah, no. So you cut a 10.5-inch strip of fabric. So this here, this flat side to this flat side is 10.5 inches. If you were to have laid it this way, it should be the same, 10.5 inches. But from here to here is not. That's pretty big, actually. That's like 27-ish, 27.5 inches from point to point. But yeah, this width right here, from here to here, is 10.5 right there. See, 10.5. And if you were to turn it the other way, it should be 10.5. It's that's what we call a 10.5-inch diamond. This is what I call a 2.5-inch diamond, because I started out at 2.5 inches. This ruler goes on that side. Makes it so much easier. And then everything else is just building as I go. So some strips are bigger, some strips are not. They're all different sizes. And if I end on a side where I need to add a second strip to that same exact side, I will do that. I think I only did it on one of the center diamonds, but these outer 24, I haven't had to do that yet because I haven't really got that far. And if you're curious about, like, even if it's not strings like this, it's kind of like what I'm trying to do is like my Mariner's Star. If you guys remember, some of you might remember that video. I did a Mariner's Star compass. So the compass was the center circle, obviously, but a Mariner's Star is that whole double star thing. That's kind of what I'm doing if you want to call it a traditional name, you know?
How big is the throat space on the Juki?
The throat space on the Juki is 9 inches from needle to hearth, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's called the hearth. The only thing that, with all this standing, that's worse than the neck pain is my feet pain, because this mat that the chair rolls around on is not an anti-fatigue mat, and it's driving my feet wild. Like, I really should just go and put on a pair of shoes to stand here and do this.
Do you want to do that? I can get your shoes.
No, I'm just saying that, you know, if you stand too long like this, that shoes are a good idea. Yes, it is an easy remedy.
Ooh, but that one right, that's awesome.
Which one? This
The
one?
red one you just, that is awesome.
This
too.
one? This one?
Yeah.
That's too wide right now.
Oh.
That I'm saving
What
those
that other red one you just had?
for outer pieces.
Yeah, that one there, that's awesome.
Not big enough.
Oh.
This other red, though, big enough. And you don't have to save your cutoffs like I do. I'm just weird. Well, it's not weird. I'm thrifty, I guess. And this fabric costs a lot of money, so why would I want it to go in the trash? I'm just gonna make something else with it all.
Well, we don't waste anything.
And no, I don't pin anything when I'm doing this. I'm really, you know, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. No pinning or anything. There's no need. It's just strings. Ooh, how about this one?
And the curves you could finagle like the wedding ring template.
I could. Come on. I could finagle it and make it work. We'll see how it goes. If I don't, then I'll just leave it one big open space to quilt. We'll see what happens, though. See how much I want to invest in this quilt now that I've already invested 3 days just to make 32 blocks so far. I mean, that's a lot of work. Ta-da! Ooh, that's not big enough. That's definitely not big enough. How about
the dinosaur one.
this one will work. This one, see, it's already got an angle on it. It's not the exact angle. It's probably from a 60, but why grab that ruler? One's for trimming and one is for the cutoffs. And my strings are very well organized. I make sure that my strings are cut straight. I don't do crooked strings. I cannot stand them when they're crooked. So I make sure I trim them in advance to whatever I want them to be. That way they're straight all the way down. So if I waste fabric that way, I was going to waste it anyway to straighten things out when I pieced it. So I ran out of bobbin, by the way. I had green bobbin in. Now I have gray. This one's almost done. This one's pretty big. So what I'll do is I'll bring this over here. Oh, that's a really big chunk. I'm just going to go around it twice, 4 times. Okay, it looked close. Okay, straighten this side up. Oh, that's not bad at all. Look at that. That was barely. Ooh, oh, that one's already in it. Don't want to do that. Let's do, ooh, this is pretty. Right here, super colorful. Got all these piles. I'm trying to remember to stick certain pieces in. Take a drink of water real quick. And sit for a second. Like I said, sitting is really hard to do this, but we're going to attempt it. I feel like the ruler shifts more when I sit. But my feet are starting to get really, really overwhelmingly tired. No, it's fine. Just gonna sit for a minute. I'll just hear my chair rolling around. Oh wow, that's almost perfect too. There's a purple one right here. Purple. I love it. 2 purples on 1 piece. Yay. I definitely feel no matter what I do with this quilt that it's going to be super awesome because my dream was super awesome. Oh, thank you. They're purple. My favorite color. They've been this color for like 2 weeks now. I usually go about a month and a half-ish, somewhere in that range. But I am going to do my nails before I go to Virginia because they'll be excessively long if I wait till the end of February. So I'm going to do them like before I go. That next number right there. All right. How about, ooh, some, what is this called again? Ombre fabric. An ombre green. I have to snip some of these away. It starts making like this bubble and the pieces keep trying to come up on top of the previous piece. So if I get rid of some of it, then I have some room. I never do this with my piecing. I never make a mess like this on my desk. I am usually super organized. This is like driving me nuts having this big, huge disaster here.
Yes, this is very rare.
Yeah, this is the rarest thing you guys will ever see in my room is this much disaster on my desk. I like literally have no space to piece, but if I push it, it's going to fall off the table. And then I'll have an even bigger mess to clean up. Okay, lining it up. Come on. Find a piece. This green polka dotty one. Ooh, that'll be perfect. Ooh, I don't have that one in here yet. Oh, I want to save those bigger ones though for the outer corners. Oh, it's been, I don't know about you guys, but here we got some rain finally this year for the, we got, it rained most of today. It stopped raining about 2 hours ago or so. And it's supposed to rain again all day tomorrow. And it's been, the dampness really drives, yeah, first rain of the year. The dampness usually really affects me. It makes my hips hurt really bad, which it's been doing. And then I woke up from my nap because I slept on my shoulder wrong, but obviously I probably wouldn't have felt that pain if it wasn't for being humid here. It's always humid when it rains, but supposedly a lot of you on the East Coast are supposed to be getting lots and lots of snow. And the West Coast is being drenched with rain and snow in the higher elevations. Ooh, this one's pretty. Let's put that one there. More purple again. Me and my purple colors. It's not very hard. Once you get the start of things and the hang of it, going around it over and over, it's just like a log cabin, honestly. Made with strings. You can make log cabin blocks with strings.
Do you use music or TV?
Off camera, I blast the music. I blast classic rock or alternative 90s rock. And sometimes, like, sometimes I'll put on hip hop, but more like 90s hip hop that you can bop around to when I'm on the long arm. I don't do it when I'm sitting here and working, but I do when I'm on the long arm. I just get in that mood and I want to like move my body. So I'll put some hip hop from the 90s on, but that's about it. I don't really listen to that very much at all, really. Just a little taste of it to bop around to, but I don't know any of the new stuff, you know. Yeah, but mostly I listen to alternative rock and classic rock, which would be like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, blah, blah, blah. You know, that kind of stuff. AC/DC, you know, those things, those bands. I was raised on it. Sometimes, very rarely, I'll, you know, because Scott will be listening or whatever, or he'll be hanging out with me. Sometimes the country station will be on, and some country music. Not much, but he likes my alternative rock, so he doesn't mind me listening to it.
But you like all kinds of music.
Yeah, I like all kinds of music. I am all over the place when it comes to music.
Do you have any videos for newbies using a long arm?
I have probably like 75 videos in the long arm album, in the long arm playlist. All about long arm quilting. They don't like really show step by step. It just shows how to do a design. You just watch it, and the more you watch it over and over again, the more you gain the confidence to try it yourself. Or you can say this is your phone. You can hold your phone sideways, not up and down, but hold it sideways. And while you're watching it on the long arm, move your phone in those positions as it's going, so that you can get a general idea of how it's going to work. That's definitely not long enough. I don't have anything like this. Ooh, let's put this one there. Let's hope that that's long enough. Oh, it is. Look at that. Yay. See, those dang cuts in my mat. It's almost time for a new mat or a new blade. One or the other.
I thought you said last week you needed a new blade. Didn't you
Yep.
change it yet?
No, I didn't change it yet.
Well, let's change the blade because that mat's not that old.
Okay.
That is a new mat.
Let me sew this on real quick, and I'm going to change my blade because I keep getting dings. Okay. All right, let me get this on here and then change my blade out. I only have, you know what? Let me do these last two because there's only two left, and I'll sew these on, pass them to Scott so you can press the rest and then change the blade. That way.
There you go. That's an idea.
That way, at least this round is done before I move on to the next. Ooh, we don't have any eggs. They're like rocks or robin eggs, something like that. And yes, I'm turning my little triangles to cut the selvage off of them before saving.
Free motion
Everything
without a frame? Just that you're doing.
Very few videos for free motion quilting because I don't like to do it. They're really old ones too, where I only did free motion quilting. But most of those I made private because a lot of those videos were really, really, really hard to see when I was out in my garage when I was free motion quilting. So making sure that's lined up. And when the block is sticking out like this and it's too long, I know that this is my last round. It's gotta be close to it. Probably needs one more on another side. So I'm gonna take a wide piece just because, one of these super wide ones, and put it on here. Okay, that should be the right size. No, it's not. Need longer. Need a longer one. How about these elephants? Nope, definitely not the right size. Oh, I don't want white on the edge. No. Is this long enough? Aha, this might be long enough. Perfect. Well, the one that was on top first. We'll see. All right. This is the last one. I'm going to snip them apart and throw them over there. And then change my blade. And while we're changing my blade, we're going to do an auction.
How do you buy the jean backpacks
When I make them, you can get them on auction or email me right after you see me making it. Yeah, they usually sell right away from the video. So most people will email me during the video and I get it right after the live stream airs, and they'll say, I would like to purchase that bag. And that's how most people get things that I make, unless it's auctioned off during the video. And then obviously that is the best way to get something that I've made. And all the proceeds from auctions support my channel. All right. So we're going to auction this little lovely tabletop quilt, and the little bag goes with it because I don't want it in my house if I don't have the little top. So it's going to start off at $10, and you guys have fun with that, and Scott will take you and show you while I change a blade real quick. You know what? I'm just going to put an alpha blade in here this time.
Before we go too far.
I need my glasses because I can't see to read. This was made in a video. My recent, what is it called video? Open Gate Quilts video. Okay. I'm hoping this blade works in here. It should. Okay. See, this Martelli cutter's blade comes out not the way most blades do. That comes out, this is not a lefty loosey, righty tighty thing. It's actually a lefty tighty, righty loosey. Holy dust.
Holy cow, that is dusty. Gee whiz.
Yeah, I need to get one of my little thingies that clean dust out. Where is it at? We're at 35 so far. Now it's at 40. I don't know where my little dusting things are. They've disappeared from my visual field. Where in the heck are they? It was like a little package. Oh, there they are. Right there. I need my little dusty things, you know.
Oh, I forgot about those altogether. When you were saying your little dusty things, I didn't know what you were talking about.
They clean out the cracks and crevices of the Martelli cutter. See? Ugh, that's gross.
I don't know if the camera can see the cutter. You might have to hold it up so I can see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm cleaning the dust out of the things with this little pokey duster thing. Ugh, it gets so filthy.
Okay, we're at $50.
It's at 50. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, look at all that dirt.
Yeah, that's so
Here, hold on.
gross.
Should I put the camera down so they can see all that for you?
Yep. I gotta hook the spring back up. I knocked it off. Yeah. I forgot how it goes already. Come. I never knocked the spring off. So this is the first. This time I accidentally hit it.
We're going to go back up to that and then we can call it. And then let's see your little pokey dusty thing. This is what it looks like. As a little brushy thing.
Go in that hole. Come on. All right. Where are we at? 50 to whom? Dawn going once. 50 to John going twice. Sold to Dawn for 50. Dawn F. Oops. Put that back on there. Stay. And then hook it back on here. Dawn, please email us at the email tiffanysquiltinglife@yahoo.com. No spaces, no whatever. Scott just put the thing so that you can read what it says. All right, that's in there. Whew, it's so much work to do that. Put that thing in there. My thing is totally broke, and we need to put the new blade in there. Come on.
Okay, country.
Number 2 is a country one. It's gonna be up there for auction. It's gonna start out at $10. It's the same exact pattern as the last, but it's more country style, more country style. That's what it is. Okay. No. Yeah.
They can't.
The blade goes first. Then this goes on there. No, it doesn't.
Beautiful red thread.
It's quilted in red thread. It's from a video again. Lots of the things I make are from videos. Most recent video. I got so excited I made a bunch of those. Just so that you guys can have them for auction. Okay, I don't know what's happening here, but line up. There we go. The back is black and white and gray, right? That one has the black, white, and gray. And the red thread really pops. All right. I gotta throw all this dust away and then put this blade in here, the old blade, real quick, and write old on it so that I know it's a case for old blades.
I like the back of it as much as I like the front, to be honest.
So I saved the cases, if you guys were curious, and I write old on it so that I could fill it with my old blades, because I didn't have a fresh case for old blades, so I needed a new one.
Sorry, I didn't know you did that.
All right, now I'll put my little dusty things away and get started on the next amount of blocks. We're gonna move some of this out of the way though. Some of this scrap stuff. What's it at?
45.
We're at 45.
Want to call it again? For Dawn. Dawn apparently likes everything you make.
Dawn at 45 going once. Dawn at 45 going twice. Sold to Dawn for 45. Don't forget to email me. All right, I'm going to take this pile while you start that next. And
Okay. Are we going to put it in more?
not right now, no.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to get started on the next round, and Scott will move the camera as soon. Well, they can't see what I'm doing, so I'm going to stand back up though, because rolling around in the chair just drives me nuts as well. Okay. I let my feet rest long enough. All right, here we go. So that was my last side. Now I'm going to add to this side. Doing the same exact thing. Line it up, trim it, add. Now we have a super sharp blade that I got to be careful of because it might chop my hand off. I'm just going to start adding to it. Same exact thing I've been doing this whole time. Oops, Try not to pull things though. I barely even have to touch the fabric now. It just cuts it perfectly. The fun part's about having a new blade. You don't even have to touch anything. No pressure. Just slices and dices. No effort at all. Okay, so next round underway. And I probably won't get all the rounds done here on today's video, so. Nope, I won't even come close to having these done today. All right. But at least I got some done. The quilt will be about king size. To be about, this is just my guesstimate because I've made these diamond quilts before. It'll probably be about 108 square. But if I add borders or so, it'll probably be even bigger. You never know. All right, this one's close. Let's see what we need on this one. So I'm gonna line it up on the template. So 2 more sides. So when I do this, I line it up right here and I look and I say, okay, so I need a piece that's about 1 3/4 of an inch. So this one looks about right. And that needs to be just a little bit wider, like just a smidge wider than that. I don't have anything like this. Let's see, is this long enough? Oh, it is long enough. Oh, perfect size. Okay. So I'm going to cut this one. And then because this one is literally almost done, I'm going to cut this, sew it on, and then have Scott press it and sew on the other side. And this one will be done. Like I literally go that quick. Oops, let's trim it first though. And I'm already way beyond my line right there. Line it up. Trim it.
Holy cow, this is a ginormous strip. It's supposed to be this big?
What strip?
Polka dot.
Oh, I just made it that big because it's matching up with the last of the end of that piece too. So I'm going to sew this on, pass it to Scott. Add a second side.
So am I putting this somewhere? Are you ready for these?
Yeah.
Are those ready?
Yeah.
Behind?
No.
Oh. So am I done then after this one?
For a moment, yes.
For a moment. Well, you're doing the whole sides and all the others, right? So it's going to be a while.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to add now. You don't have to press that yet. I'm just stacking them there out of my way. All right. Now we're going to lay this back on here.
After these 2, are we done for a bit?
Yes.
Okay, because iron needs to be on both. You know the iron needs to be.
All right. I'm going to see how big I need for right here. And it looks like I need about, see, I have it right here on the line on my mat. I don't know how well you can see, but I have it on a line on my mat. And it looks like I need about 2 1/4 inches to fully cover it. So we're going to find another one of those really big strips. 2 1/2 would work. That one's not 2 1/2. Here's a really wide one. Is that long enough?
Too much more.
Oh, yes, that's wide enough. And it's big enough. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put my template out of the way for a second. I'm going to trim the side, make it nice and straight. Really doesn't need much off of it. I'm looking at my diamond right here. Very small amount was trimmed off of there. I'm going to cut it to size with this big piece. And then this block will be complete, we'll trim it to size. Oh, no, I thought it was big enough. Now it's not. I lined it up on there. Is that big enough? Nope. The problem with this is you got to have really long, fat strings for this. That's definitely long enough. Okay, let's use this one. It's definitely long enough and wide enough. Of course, I buried half of them, all the big ones. All right. Right sides together and sew it on, and then we're going to press it back and trim it to size. All right, I'm just going to press it real quick. And I'm also going to press the whole entire block so that way it's nice and flat for this next step, which is the trimming. Okay. So I need the room. I'm going to move all this out of the way. We're going to grab the template, and I'm going to lay my piece down first. Then I'm going to put my template on top. And as you can see, I'm barely going to cut anything all the way around, making it the size of my template. So I'm going to grab my ruler, and I'm going to run it along just like this. And I'm going to square this whole thing up. I'm literally cutting either an 1/8 or a 1/4 off the sides. And it does not do any good to cut that way, the direction I just was, because it didn't cut where I wanted it. Cut this side.
How did you make the center star?
The center star is a 2.5-inch diamond cut from 2.5-inch strips of fabric. And you just put it the star, and then you build on only one side of the star. All right, so now I have a block right here. Now you can see this diamond landed further down instead of way up here in the center, because this right here, if I put my ruler on it from here to here, this is my center. My diamond is not center. So you can see on my previous block, this diamond and this diamond are in different positions. So you're going to see they're going to jump around. And that was kind of the goal. But if I lay these on top of each other and put this center right here, from here to here, this diamond is off about an 1/8 of an inch from center. But this one underneath is way off. You can see it doesn't even touch the center of the block. So that's perfectly fine. My goal is to have these bounce around the quilt. So if I was to set this up right here, it's going to go like that. And this would go like this. Trying to lay it so you guys can see it kind of starting to make its way around, but it's going to be hard because it's next to the floor. So you can see down there, this now is going to be built at, they kind of tip 2 different directions all the way around. So there's that. Oops, why did I put that way over there? I don't know. All right, on to the next round. Until I find the ones that are close to being done. So where am I at? I'm on this top edge. So I'm getting close on this one too. They're all getting really close. Like this one, I could probably finish off and put that diamond in a funky spot. So let's do that. Just because I'm right here and I can do whatever I want because it doesn't have to be exact.
It's like an illusion diamond.
Yeah, kind of. You guys know how I like to make illusions out of my strings. Diamonds or anything. Foot pedal just wants to walk away from me. All right, so I'm gonna press this back, find out how much more I need. Give me 2 seconds.
My job. Why are you stealing it from me now?
All right, we're gonna lay it on the template and see how much more it needs. I'm gonna just move this whole pile out of the way. Keep this out. So if I lined it up right here on this bottom half, get it down beyond that. I need a really thick piece right here, or I could put 2 strings next to each other. Okay? And look at where my diamond will end up on this one, way down here at this bottom towards the right. Or I could add 1 more piece to this side and 1 more piece to this side, right here, and have my diamond sit to like the side of it instead. It's not going to be centered no matter which way I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and add a piece right here. We're going to see right now. Lining everything up before I trim every time. I'm going to add, let's see. That's probably not even long enough. Oh, it is? Okay. I'm going to add this guy, see how much more I need, and then you can turn the whole thing and add another one on the other side and keep trying to line it up.
Is the first star you made different from the ones you're making now?
The first star I made?
Yeah, the ones there that had the white tip on the end.
Yes, they're different. These ones have the white landing wherever they land towards the middle, and the other ones have the whites at the end to create a star in the center. Making 2 different ones. 8 of one, 24 of the other. So there's 8 of these to create the center star with the white coming from the center and only building on the outer side of it. So only back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They do get wonky that way. I couldn't control that. Even if trimming, it still got wonky. So some of these are kind of like crooked looking at the end, but I couldn't control it. I tried. Oh, yeah. No, it's white. White at the tip.
They couldn't see that.
Yeah.
It looks like the batting.
Yeah, no, it's white at the tip. Yep. That's what I get for using white batting on the wall, huh? But I make a lot of quilts with black, so black batting would be pointless. All right. So I have a choice again. I could lay this exactly on my template and line it up right here and go, oh no, I need a sliver here and a sliver here. Or I can put it back down to the bottom again like this and put a second sliver on this side only. Because no matter which way you turn it, it's the same exact thing. Actually, I could put one right there, just like that. That one looks even better. I'm going to go this direction. All right, so I'm going to add one to this side right here. Center everything again, making sure everything's lined up. And it is. And I need about a big piece. I'm just going to stick with the I need about a big piece to finish it off. That one's definitely not long enough. I don't want whites on the edge. Maybe, no, that one we already looked. That one wasn't long enough. Definitely not long enough. Where are my long ones? They're somewhere in here. Fat, right here. Here's a fat one. That's not long enough. This one on the other hand might. No, This one with the trees. Oh, look at that. Yep. Okay. Here we go. No. Yes. Right there. Oh, perfect. This one's like exactly the right size. From tip to tip. On both sides. Whew. I was cutting it close on that one. All right. I'm just using an oversized piece. It's going to get trimmed down. And again, you can make a template out of paper. You can cut a 10 by whatever piece off of like parchment paper or something, you know, because it's long. Huh? Marshall Dry Goods. Yeah, I get backing fabric sometimes from Marshall Dry Goods. The 108 backing fabric. All right, I'm going to pull my template over here. I'm going to lay this on here, and you can see, look at how over this is. That's really cool. This is going to be really cool. Going to be a really cool quilt. So I'm going to line this up to the tip there, to the tip there, and then trim away all the excess that is not the size of the template. So you can see I'll still have another strip of these trees left. So I could just go back into my strings. That comes off and right here. And then I'll have 3 pieces. Done. All right. And there we have it. See, I really like that. I really like that it's going to be wonky and all over the place, and nothing will be uniform, and that's the cool part. So then this one will go right here, or I could turn it this way, like this. And then the next one will hook to that, and so on and so forth. It's going to go all the way around. Let's see, this one's close too. Let's get this one because it's close. Let's see how much more we need. Probably just 1 strip, honestly. If I lay that right there. I just need a sliver on this side, honestly. Or a sliver on, let's see, this side. So if I trim this guy down a little bit, that might work, actually. Trim him down, because then I'll get a better piece on that side, and everything else will be even, and I won't lose too much. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim 1.25 inches off of this. And then, no. Yeah, and then add a really wide piece. So I'm just going to cut a nice straight 1.25 inch piece off of there. That can be used again. And then put a really wide one right there. That's definitely not long enough. Let's see, is this going to be wide enough? Bring the template down. Line it up. And see. So they're going to give me a 1/4 inch seam? 1/4 inch seam. Yep. Excuse me. So this guy is going to go right here. Again, I'm having fun with it. There's no rules, just building around it. If I'm adding 2 to the same side, that's okay. Because again, it's just strings. It's scrappy, it's fun. And it was a dream. I don't even think I've ever seen anything like this before. So this might be a show quilt, you know?
That's what they're all saying.
Yeah, because I've never seen anything like this, and I'm having a lot of fun and putting a lot of effort into it, so. All right, I'm gonna line this up now. Right there, there, there. Oh, perfect. I'm only trimming off the two sides. Like literally, just a tad bit this way. Come on, template. Thank you. Perfect that way, perfect that way. At the point there.
What are you going to put in the big square?
I'm going to be filling that emptiness with, I'm hoping to be able to piece something.
In other words, not sure yet.
Not sure yet. Yeah, exactly. And there we go. So now I have another one. And there, the diamond is on the bottom, not center. So if I was to put this center to center, the diamond is touching it and beyond it by 1/2 inch. So this one's in a totally different spot. And then it will go right here, like that. And then the next one is going to go this way, right down here. So let's find another one that's big. That way you guys can really see how my vision coming to life. Here's another one that's big. Let's just add 2 big pieces on each side. So a big one here and a big one here. So I'm going to straighten this side up. Line it up on there. Perfect, perfect right there. Okay. We're going to find a nice big chunk. Please tell me this is enough right here, because this would be super cute right here with the elephants. Oh, look at that. Right there. Okay. The elephants are going to work on this one. I really wanted to use them, you know. They're going to go with the skulls. Elephants and skulls on the same piece. I mean, come on now. It's nothing better than using scraps. All right. Line it up. Stitch it up. Add one more to this side. I know it needs to be a bigger size piece. Line this up right there. Perfect. Okay. So let's see. What do we got? That's big. Minnie Mouse heads. Sure, why not? Well, Minnie Mouse bows. I'm already right here with this ruler. Might as well use it. Over there. Sew this on. All right. Pressing the whole entire block. And then we're going to bring the template over and lay it on here. And this one should be really close. It shouldn't have too much trimming. Yeah, this one's like almost perfect. And we're just going to trim it. All 4 sides. Nice and straight. And I'm adjusting my ruler as I go because the ruler is not as long as the block. So if you want to use a ruler that's as long as, then I would suggest that. But I'm just trying to work with just the 2 rulers today, not to overwhelm myself with too many rulers. And here we have another block. And you can see this one's diamond point on the white diamond landed, I don't know, almost an inch in. And this will go right here. About. I know I can't get the full thing in there, guys, because my design wall isn't as big as you'd think. But that is the general idea of what I am doing today. Right, so you guys can see where my diamonds, see how my diamonds are just kind of topsy-turvy? Oh, it looks so awesome so far. Oh, I'm gonna love this. This is gonna be just like my dream. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. I'm loving it. All right. Loving it. Look at that. So this is what you can do with strings from my brain. Okay? So if you want to try this, like I said, we'll repeat it one more time. So far from the yardage from the white, I've only cut 3 2.5-inch strips. And then I subcut 8 of them, 8 diamonds went for the centerpieces. And then 24 more diamonds that I subcut, just a bunch of diamonds off of 3 2.5-inch strips. 24 of them will be the outer ring ones where the diamond is in the center or center-ish, close to about. Then this section, if you just want to do like a background fabric, it should be around 16.5 inches for this square, or no, this one is a 22-inch square cut on the diagonal 2 times to create this. That way you're just doing a triangle at a time. Sorry about that. And then this one is the 16.5 cut on the diagonal 1 time to create that. But I have a feeling that those numbers are kind of big because I haven't really put anything together yet to get like an exact size. But that is my about measurement so far, if that makes any sense at all. So if you really wanted to try this at home, you could start building it with your half pieces, because technically the half piece will fit on this unit first, and then trim it to size where it's 1/4 inch away from the tip down here of the bottom of these, you know? And then these ones would be the 22-inch piece cut on the diagonal twice to fill in this section and this section. And anything 1/4 inch beyond here can be trimmed off, you know, and complete a square. That way you have more of a precise measurement for the next round to go all the way around. And those numbers can be the exact same for the bottom corners and these diamond dips, you know what I mean, all the way around. So if you really wanted to do it, it shouldn't be that hard. You could also, like I said, I'm going to work, once I finish this, I'm going to work on just trying to get a pattern together where we can use fat quarters to make this. A center tip again is a white 2.5-inch diamond. I built on one side, then I built on the other, built on one side, built on the other, and repeated that until it was the size of my template that I cut. That's a 10.5-inch diamond. So it's the size of my template that I made out of muslin. So you can make it out of paper if you have paper and want to do that, but it's a lot easier to cut from fabric to get the size you want and then just starch the heck out of it so it's nice and square. But these ones started with it at the tip and only built on the tip side, not around it, not on the side of it, just the tip at the point, making a complete point. The other ones are random. Yes, this is 45-degree diamonds, not 60. If it was 60-degree diamonds, you'd only have 6. You get 8 from a 45 to make an 8-pointed star. All right, guys. Well, I am done for the day. I have 15 more minutes that I would normally be on, but I'm really getting my feet and my neck are like super fatiguing me. So I'm going to get off of here and go put my feet up, and maybe Scott will even rub them.
You already got that.
Not today. That was yesterday. Anyways, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for living in my brain for the moment. And I'm not going to continue this next Sunday. We're going to actually have a real project next Sunday, but hopefully the top will be sort of done by then, and I can at least show you where I'm at. So thank you guys for hanging out, and I will see you.
This video was just
Oh
showing how
yeah,
your mind works.
this is just showing you how my mind works.
This isn't
What
a start to
happens when I
finish.
dream something. This isn't a start to finish project. This is just me. This is just me being me, off camera usually. But today we brought you in because this was already on my desk and I didn't want to move it to do the project I originally had planned for today. So that will be next week. All right, guys, thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye.